So I was actually in charge of this department. We worked with different club organizations across the different cities in China then. So that was like about 30 over cities and 80 over shows in total over 3 months. We started creating a bus on the second year, and from 3,000, it grew to 30,000.
Oh. Okay, welcome to another episode of Reverie on Air, and today we have our special guest, Don Wong, also known as one of the high-tier executive of Avantgarde, also known as one of the founding team of Storm Music Festival. So maybe we can start off with that first. Like, what is the philosophy, right, behind like Storm Music Festival? Or maybe not philosophy, maybe like what's the reason like why you all decided to start a festival in China back in the day when it's not so common? It's easy to do it when everybody's already doing it, right? But to be the first mover, wow.
That has always been the thing that I try to achieve, being the first to do something, even from the beginning. So you're actually asking a question that actually was from after 10 years of being in the in the music industry, moving out from Singapore to find greener pastures out of Singapore. Yes. I decided to go to China. So basically I was promoting in Singapore for 10 years then. And then I decided, okay, I had enough of this. I need a bigger...
You were a club promoter.
So yeah, so maybe this is one thing that maybe a lot of the Gen Z may not know, or they were pretty much too young during that period. But since 99, we started doing promotions and parties. So we were called party promoters then. Started from there, actually from doing it in Australia, and then after that bringing it back to Singapore because I was studying in Australia. I was actually working in a rave organization doing street promotions. That was how I started. Postering, flyering, talking to people on the streets, selling your event.
Manual.
Making them excited about it with a few keywords. Of course, the flyer design is very important for them to be attracted and actually want to pick up a piece of the flyer. So those were the different strategies and how we actually started doing traditional promotion. We'll call it street promotion or guerrilla marketing somehow. It became guerrilla marketing after that. So that wasn't the question. The question was, why did we start doing that? And it was
the early days later.
It was the idea of the creator, the CEO of the project, Eric Zhou. It was then that I think EDM had just pretty much blown up. Electronic dance music just blown up pretty much in the US and Europe with all that big Tomorrowland and festivals and Ultra and whatever.
Yes.
China was still at the really early stage of it. Yes. Eric decided to create a team that pretty much a team that had experience to organize music festivals or were involved in the industry or at least within the electronic music circle. He put a team together, and I was one of the earlier guys that joined the team, amongst other people from AEG to...
wow.
Yeah.
Oh, very high profile people.
Yeah, that was in Shanghai. So basically like ex-AEG from Shanghai, Lam Nation or whatever. Put a team together and we created the first year of Storm in 2013. Yeah. And then it was still pretty small. It was like, I think it was 3,000 capacity.
Exactly like how Tomorrowland started, right?
Yeah.
3,000
capacity. It was just like a name card, something to put out to test the market and to see if the reaction of the people, if they could accept it. During that period of time, it was pretty much just Xingyao or Chinese music, or there was just like KTV stuff. Yes, there was some EDM stuff and a bit of the underground stuff. We were trying to convert the mainstream people to know about EDM music. So one of the things we did on the second year was we got Wang Liho and Avicii to collab on the song.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that, as part of the whole festival project, because we were doing like 80 pre-parties. Because the second year we were sponsored by Budweiser. It was a 5-year contract, so we had to do a year promotion of like doing pre-parties to spread the word about Storm across the nation. So the first year was just like Shanghai.
Speaking about the pre-party promotion, right? Do you do something like DWP? Because I had the opportunity to speak to the organizers of DWP, and they say that they will like basically plant the tracks right on the different various outlets. Like they'll play the music that is being played at the festival at various outlets that they have throughout the year. And then it's like,
Yeah. We work with different club organizations across the cities. I mean, across the different cities in China then. So that was like about 30 over cities and 80 over shows in total over 3 months.
Wow.
So I was actually in charge of this department.
So much opportunities compared to...
Yeah, so I was touring and basically conceptualizing the shows for these clubs, meeting up with the local promoter, finding the best one to work with because they have the community, right? So basically getting them excited about something big, and in Shanghai, and they could be involved. So we started creating a bus on the second year, and from 3,000, it grew to 30,000 the second year. Of course, the second year you had like Swedish House Mafia.
Whoa.
You had like even A-Track, BZP, Cascade, Afrojack. Yeah.
Oh, just for 3 years to reach this level is pretty fast.
For 1 year.
Oh, 1 year.
Yeah, I mean like...
It's still 3 or 1 year?
1 year promotion, because from 3,000, and then the second year was 30,000. Yeah, because because of population, that was actually why I was going there to try to experience how we can actually spread.
You just need 1%, you win it.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, but of course there was a lot of money spent in that, like to create those pre-parties, sending those DJs around. I had Tanisha coming up. Then I really remember Tanisha, DJ Tanisha. Yeah.
Back in the day, man.
Yeah, back in the day, she had like 10 shows in me. I had booked other like the top 100 type DJs that were involved, even some bass DJs and stuff like that, that were involved in the tour. And then of course there was the festival, which was like a 2-day festival during the National Day of Chinese
market.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a great learning, and from then on it just took off for the next 5 years. Yeah.
Would you say like it's like reached the level where it's like autopilot already when you tell people, okay, some music festival this date, then straight away people buy tickets?
So I mean like because the festival has taken a break over a couple of years due to COVID and stuff, so we decided that because also China wouldn't allow more than festivals above 20,000 people, and our festival actually needs 30,000 to break even, and then anything above that is you make money because of our production, the cost of DJs, the cost of marketing, the cost of everything, just putting everything together. It was not a one-stage show.
Of course.
Yes, of course, it's a 2-day show, but the stages were 3D. We basically had a lot of effort in working with the Tomorrowland guys to design the stage. It was something different. Yeah, so following that, there were new promoters or festival organizers in each of these cities wanting to do the festival, so everything started to
like collab.
Not really collab. They had their own brands, they had their own investors, they do their own bookings. I was helping some of them as well. The EDM scene just blew up from the third year onwards. Like the clubs starting to play book all these DJs, and it was a very healthy progression for EDM music in China. But note that I'm not actually I don't come from this EDM business, because I came a lot more from the whole creative, doing underground stuff, promoting.
So let's talk about
more of the other side of things. But when I moved to China, I thought that you're in a big country and the opportunity is there, and if I can prove myself to do this, and also not adapt into the music, but be able to understand and I see how this music works affects this generation of Chinese who are hungry, and they want to be involved, they want to be cool, they want to party with their friends. So it was an eye opener for me just to see the switch, the pivot. Yeah. Yeah.
Just from 1 year. So maybe we can take it back to like you.
So I think on the 5th year, you had like 50 over 1,000, 60 over 1,000 people. Yeah. I left the project after 3 years to develop my own projects because anyway, the whole structure was already out now. The festival was really going forward. So I'm always trying to do my own stuff as well. Yeah. But then, of course, this time around, since the government decided like no festivals above 20,000, we decided to move the festival into Singapore. It being like Singapore being the hub for Southeast Asia somehow, like crossroads. Yeah, the crossroad basically pretty much. So we decided to have it here. And so also adding on a business conference, a music conference in the afternoon. Yeah, Bishuru knows more about
Was it conference? Was it like something like IMF but your own brand?
something like IMS.
Yeah.
Something like IMS, yeah, but like our own Asian brand that is linked up to the festival. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, some of the artists and labels that come out for it or are involved in the panels or the workshops are going to be showcasing their artists, and yeah, it's a similar thing.
Like label booth.
Yeah. Not so much booths, but I think there's more panels and discussions. Don't have to be so much booths, but yeah, you have the parties as the booth, the parties itself. So for example, like spinning is coming for it, and then like you have a spinning sessions and somewhere.
Yeah, spinning session is so iconic.
Yeah.
And like from time to time, they still have spinning sessions at Marquee or something.
Yeah.
And it's still quite.
I guess it was one of the earlier labels that from actually do house stuff, and then it just moved into
big move.
focusing EDM because they were also Dutch, right? So Dutch label, yeah.
Yeah, I saw one video from Will Sparks at Storm Music Festival. Yeah, then the video was like super dynamic and everything. It looks damn happening.
Yeah, with
Stage
sort of
design.
even in the whole like after movie, they just shot like even 3 months before the festival. I'm doing like cutaways and things like that. So I mean, it's not a festival that you organize for 3 months and then you have it and then you just relax for a few months. We actually have plans throughout the year to develop different properties in terms of like Storm is the brand, but we have the M31, which is a tech house brand. Then you have like other elements to it, like the conference and all the other parts to it. There's also the dinner, the gala.
Wow. What? You have a Storm dinner?
Yeah. That's like a few days. That's around the nights of the festival. We have like some restaurants involved in eating, having dinner with certain artists.
Simple. Meet and greet.
That, but you can pay money to have dinner, you know. Favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
Skrillex,
VIB.
It's going to do a 20 table thing. And, well, yeah, this is all in the pipeline, but I will not say so much until we launch.
I think you already give us a lot already.
Yeah, I think that's yeah.
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 But yeah, it's great, man. Like people can look forward to this, you know. And like looking back at China, right, where at first you were saying that Storm was the pioneer, and then you inspire like a new generation of people to start creating their own music festivals, and it can be like 80 shows in 3 months, you know. There are so much opportunities for DJs to flourish.
Yes.
So I think Singapore is slowly getting this ready. Yeah.
Yes, we are, but also, how do you say it?
Geographical limitation or
That, I mean, just as a country itself, we don't have enough population to create our own festival and then to make it successful. Because we don't have the population to sustain itself. Or just Singaporeans to go to the festival, you need to have additional people. So therefore, somehow some of these one-stage festivals that you see, I mean, I'm not saying it's not good. It's that everyone is making, you know, like having their part to do this. But it's also very tough for them. Like you do a one-stage thing, and if you just depend on Singaporeans to come, then or maybe some Malaysians, not gonna be able to.
What's this engagement? What's your strategy? You know, like for me, I'm like a non-festival planner, right? I would think like maybe just hire a few influencers from overseas, fly them over to Singapore.
I mean, of course, that's just one of it. But you have, like I said, the pre-parties. You do all these engagements, database collection during these pre-parties.
Year-long thing.
Yeah, and then of course with that you engage with the local people. Yeah, who are your opinion leaders of on the ground of the city, to be your sales guy basically, and there's also.
I like how you do that because like you were in China for a very long time, and at the moment you come back to Singapore, right, you like seamlessly integrate back into the Singapore dance scene, you know.
It took. I mean, it took me 2 weeks to like look around,
It's damn fast, you know.
look around, go around. I mean, originally from here, right, and also was involved in the development of it initially, and then to see how it is now and go around. I mean, it's also been like almost a decade, right? So music genres change, fashion change, everything changed, right? Things change. So I was going around to see what's going on, what hits like, what the underground scene is like now, what the commercial scene is doing, how they are doing sales wise. I mean, I had to do that just as a understanding of the market before I start to do.
It's both your job and your passion.
It is.
So might as well go clubbing because you love it, because it's your job also. Might as well.
But the thing is, I don't go clubbing and dance. I mean, like, I do not party or drink. You just kind of like blend in. It just feels like you read me. It's none of that.
I mean, I'm there also. I'm I was just at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you still groove.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
And speaking of your beginnings, right, in Australia, not in Singapore, right? I would say, how would you compare it to the Australia scene versus like Singapore?
Cannot compare.
Or not even the same.
I mean, we were because like we were there in '96, and it was the best. I think it was like Australia's best moment for
Golden era.
One of golden era for like the beginning of raves and music festivals and promoter nights and stuff like that. So he was buzzing. You had a lot of promoters. There was a lot of bookings. You had a really good choice of all sorts of genres then. So when you all first started, it was not like you're not fixed to one genre. You actually go for everything good. Like today is like a hip hop band. Tomorrow is this trip hop artist, and then next day is techno, and then like this disco guy, and then this house guy playing, or Detroit techno or whatever. So it was and you had everything coming at us. You just had to choose and see how much money you got to go for these raves or parties, right? So yeah, it was the best time in '96 to 2000.
Like a club promoter, I
guess so. Yeah, it was a good time for them. I saw the entire thing happening basically.
Was Stereosonic already there?
There was at the end of it. I left. Yeah, so Stereosonic was done by my ex-boss as well, I think.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they were at the end of it. But we had like War of the Worlds. It was Every Picture Tells a Story. There was Aurora. There was a few different ones. But they're also really like good promoters that we learned from. So it was from then that I started. Because I was studying in Melbourne. I was doing a music industry degree. So it was in line with what I do. And then my first step into the industry was with Mushroom Music. It was a publishing and distribution label, which in fact the biggest in Southeast Asia or Asia Pacific. They had like they were distributing labels of like Ninja Team, What Records.
Wow, Ninja Team, Oh, I love them.
So I was there as an intern, and then I couldn't get a job because quite racist in Australia. You know, like you have
back in the day,
not choose. Yeah. But anyway, it's not the matter.
Now better.
Yeah,
a lot better.
Yeah, then I started working at the rave company. At the festival organization, and then from then on, felt that it was our thing, right? Yeah, yeah. But during that time, I was actually producing. I was only producing. I was not DJing. I was just producing music on drum machines, sequencers, and stuff like that. Yeah. That's so basically you just start to do parties. You organize parties and you perform and you call some of your friends, and then you just
start from there,
make a party. The first one was in Melbourne, and
how promoting back then compared to now?
I brought DJ Ramesh. Ramesh was my international booking.
Oh,
Ramesh and Angela Flynn was my first international booking into Melbourne for my party, because I wanted to bring my friends from Singapore that I know that could play and are good, right? So, so Ramesh is super flexible. He was playing like a drum and bass set, and then he also played a techno set. So I have 2 rooms, right, for my party. So, yeah. So yeah, we all started doing parties from the beginning, and then after that, moved back to Singapore and started. We actually started a venue called Insomnia. Yeah, a lot of you may not have heard, but there was also Zouk at the time, so we were really underground.
Not to be confused with Insomniac.
Not because we was Insomnia, but we call it Insomnia. It was a cafe, and then the second floor was a club that was like full on techno and drum and bass. Yeah, literally. Then downstairs we'll do a lot of trip hop stuff and some live percussionists and whatever.
I mean, the early days when Zoom first started, it's also about house and techno, right?
Yeah,
So you are like the rapper version.
we just continue. I mean, we just have that as a staple. Like, yeah, but also had a good variation of like Mambo Jumbo Day, Mambo Jumbo Nights, yeah, your progressive house bookings,
Yeah.
the disco stuff, and Velvet, the main room stuff. So that a whole. I mean, they were the institution. We all came from that. Yeah, and then of course when we came out to do our stuff, we have our own way of creating the underground scene. That it was with the Guerrilla Crew, Kiet, Hashidik
Wow, back in the day, man.
back in the day. They were doing the drum and bass stuff in Insomnia, and then we were doing a lot of the techno stuff. I think it's just merged to be a one solid, big community of underground scene.
But would you say that word of mouth, right, back then is as relevant as word of mouth now?
Yeah,
It still seems to be like the strongest form of currency when
yes,
about promoting your night, right?
for sure, definitely. But it's just that now you have assets, you have like video assets, you have different things to shoot at them. You know what I'm saying? Like a video here, of interview here, is how you actually feed them with this information and make them excited about. Then you just have the flyer and your mouth. Then you just have the flyer and how can you can sell? How can you can make them excited? You know, it may not be about the music. It may be about
Maybe like you.
yeah. Or yeah, I mean, people were coming from all walks of life, for parties. Then yeah, yeah.
So after Australia, and then you transition back to Singapore before you go to China, right?
Yeah. So after Australia, came back to Singapore. I was producing jingles for MediaCorp for 3 months, just making jingles like advertisement stuff, music. I felt like it was super boring and like couldn't stay in our studio to do that stuff, and I just quit and came out to start my own venue called Insomnia, and then we started my agency called Kinemat. We were pretty much the first few youth activation agency. So what is youth activation? We were doing activation parties.
To get the company.
But because not really, we were getting the support from brands. So like Sub-Zero, Foster's Beer were my first brand sponsors. They were the ones who came knocking on my door to say, hey, you want some sponsorship? I'm like, what's that?
Yeah. Wow, yeah, back then.
Oh shit, money to, okay, cool. So we started learning. Then we started learning about getting sponsors for our parties, getting getting our sponsors to pay for the content. And then of course with that, it was the entire marketing campaign for these brands. We started to carve ourselves out as like a kind of agency that helps brands to communicate to youths through parties, through music, through art, through alcohol. Yeah, but mainly of course through music and then it just started going on. Like Heineken started approaching me. I did 4 years of Heineken music. Yes,
Recently you did one.
yesterday, a day before.
Yeah.
Yesterday as well. Yeah, I mean, so there were Motorola, I mean, you name it, Singtel. That was like everyone was trying to talk to the youths.
Right.
So we were there in the right time. So my company then was Kinemat. We had from 4 to 8 to 15 to 20 people in the end. After the 10 years, yeah. In 7 years, we managed to like grow to a 20 people team, just doing marketing campaigns for brands that were either festivals or exhibitions, road shows, tours. My biggest client was Hewlett Packard, HP. It was a regional project, $3 million USD, just to organize.
Is it a 1 year thing?
No, it's
3 months project.
It was a 10 days thing, but of course it took us about 6 months to plan that.
Okay.
It was a tour for the launch of their laptop, and then I had DJ Newmark for Jurassic 5. He came out to
DJ Toy Set.
Yeah, did the toy set, entire toy set. We discussed what to do using digital and analog. We had Fat Vinderai, which were the visual artists. They were also the art directors for the entire campaign for HP. We call it Art in Motion. They
Word somewhere, art in motion.
yeah, so it was the campaign that I created.
Oh.
So anyway, Fat Vinderai are the guys behind the mod selectors, visuals,
Okay.
and mod art. And then of course we had Cold Cut. I never really heard of Cold Cut.
I never heard of Cold Cut.
Cold Cut, boss of Ninja Tune.
Oh, Cold Cut is the boss of Ninja.
And also they created the VJam, which is your VGA software then. So Cold Cut was the first audio visual artist that was like triggering this visual to one sound. So they were creating samples and
Chopping it up.
to make music.
Ninja Tunes went all about chopping it up. Yeah.
So the boss came out for it. Matt Black, he's like my idol. So I mean, I managed to basically create a touring concept for these artists to use their laptops to perform, and we created a party in every city. It was Korea, Bangkok, Sydney, Malaysia, and then like that was where Taiwan, Thailand, Shanghai. Yeah,
This was all pre-China.
this was all pre-China. Yeah, this was all pre-China.
And then you were producing music.
Producing music was the very initial stage. When I was in my uni, I was doing a lot of production stuff, and then but then in the middle of all this, starting the club and doing promotion, I decided, okay, I don't have enough time for this. And during that, when you go out to perform, we get the same price as a DJ, but you're preparing for the entire week. And then we were not recording our sets as well, so it was very different. It was like, it was really raw. My first gig was actually at Knox Spy. Brandon P gave me my first gig, like playing live. Yeah. No, after a while, I decided, okay, I'm going to sell my gear, start up the company, and then start to learn how to mix records.
Oh,
Because anyway,
sell your production.
yeah, still my production gear. Yeah.
Right. Would you say you are like more passionate about the back end of the business?
It's not. I think more like I think I really wanted to be involved in singing, in producing, putting shows together. Yeah, and trying to engage in people's experience or manage. Create experiences basically. That was the key thing. Of course, in music you can do that too. I was still DJing, so it was. It's just that. I still do that. Just choose my gigs more, and then those production stuff. I mean, I will go back to it, especially now it's so advanced and it's way easier than how it was before when it was like super hard,
All hard
moody stuff. Yeah. So it's definitely much integrated now. So I definitely will come back to it just as soon as I complete the next big thing. Yeah.
Which is the upcoming big music festival that we're gonna see.
Pretty much.
Yeah, can't wait for the lineup also. Yeah.
Mm.
And for lineup specific, like how do you engage these people? Like, do you like speak to the manager and price check? What is the procedure behind all this? If you can like review some of your tips and tricks.
I mean, a lot of it you just work with the exclusive booking agency, or we also know a lot of the management of different artists.
You have to give 3 months runway.
More than that, yeah.
6 months. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, if you plan something big, you need to have some give them a plan for it.
Right.
So also find out if they're available during that date that you want them. So it has to be at least 6 months or 1 year.
They have to be very local. That means like, okay, let's just say, okay, one example, when Zouk booked A-Lock like 3 months back, well, Singapore is just not feeling it, Do you have to be very conscious about, like for example, if you're hosting a festival in Singapore, do you need to make sure you book someone at Singaporean light, or you will take the 6 months to like educate them to like the guy you book?
So for a festival, because it's multiple artists, you really don't have to do that unless you're saying like, okay, there's this artist that I'm bringing 6 months later, but you don't know, and you need to kind of. But someone like what you just mentioned, A-Lock, and like there is an EDM artist and is Zouk. Is it because EDM is dying, or is it?
It's more like he was playing a very housey and very progressive.
So the people didn't go, or didn't have a good night?
No,
there was
people, but they were not going as usual. Like usual is more hard dance, you see. Yeah, it's very Asian countries, Australia, is very hard dance driven. And then when you play a song, you play a house, right? And then people are but then when the resident come back in, everybody, woo,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, so I think that's very Singapore right now. It's very mainstream driven, very hard dance driven. And then for alternative sounds to stand out, it's really more of these kind of like smaller boutique parties that we all go to, Yeah. So for music festivals, I don't really think you'll have that kind of challenge because the lineup is so varied, right?
That's right. It's how programming is super important, of which acts you put at what time and leading up to the headline. So that's actually really an important job in the festival. So to anyhow book is to book blindly is definitely not the way to do it. You definitely have a strategy to that. And then some of them you actually, for us, because like it's a festival, at the same time you have the pre-parties. Some of them will play the pre-parties and some will come to the festival. It depends. So like some of them, the newer names, they are being promoted when they're coming for the pre-parties, and by the time they play at the festival, they're kind of known, right? So yeah. But now in terms of with social media and with of all your Spotify stuff, it's so easy to find out the artists.
But you can be surprised, man. People still want to hear Despacito now.
That's the mass audience, right? I guess. Yeah. But of course, the festival organizers, it is part of their job to basically try to educate, or rather,
get excited about a new sound, something like that, right?
Be it the new sounds or the old guy playing new sounds or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah, very, very good example. Mike Savello or Vice Stone. Everybody switched their sound from Big Room to Match Now.
Everybody. Because everyone, even you will be tired to play one sound forever, right? So, so it's like, but of course, they have to deliver it well to still uphold their brand as an artist.
Yeah. One prime example, last time everybody loved Umet Oskan, if you all remember. Like, all his Big Room and stuff. And then now it's so Psy and like spiritual kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And I like that.
Production.
Yeah, it inspires everybody.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so now you have been to a lot of parties in Singapore. You have stepped into all the small, homegrown and also very niche kind of brand kind of party. How would you say that Singapore's scene, right, have grown from back in the day? You have seen the whole cycle, right? Yeah. Is it people now are more accepting, or is it like actually technology is like hindering us in a way?
Well, I guess the kids are definitely coming out after COVID, right? Or at least like trying to find their pockets of like
where they belong. Yeah.
I would say it's improved income. I don't know. I wasn't around for that last 10 years, but I think everywhere is happening. It's not just Singapore. Everywhere is having the second coming of things.
Oh, yeah.
China's having their own, Taiwan's having their own, Thailand's having their own. Everywhere, Vietnam is having their own wave of
I think
a new insurgence of like kids coming out to create that new Y2K thing. Hard, energetic, everything else. There's also, it's a mix of everything now. But it's really happening everywhere, I feel. It's just that which country you're talking about, and maybe that country is a bit more active because the population is bigger. So, so I think Asia itself is gradually growing into an industry of its own. A continent that we can consider like Asia as one that we can start to say that we have some talents here, number one, or some cool parties, because there are great following from this scene, say for example, Taiwan or China, because of the population. So like when some artists of this genre goes there, they're like, oh wow, super sick. They didn't expect this. Right, because they're so stuck into in their own world or into in their own country or their own scene, right? So when they come out here, they realize, oh shit, there's something going on here. So I guess every city has got their own. We are not whether it's doing better than last time, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that I'm pretty sure that people are paying to come out in terms of like they're willing to buy tickets compared to last time.
Yeah, when you say the second coming of things, right, it's like, oh, last time we did all these mistakes. Now it's another chance for us to like rectify and make it better. That kind of.
That's the way to do it, right?
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
And also with like, okay, I want to talk a little bit about AI. Okay, with AI, right, being able to so accurately like replicate things. Would you say that live events now start to become more and more meaningful and people treat it more seriously? Because like you cannot tell if like something is real or not just via your phone anymore. Last time it's like no photo, no proof, you say you drink 5 seconds, but no photo, no proof. Now everything can be like AI already. So I guess like, would you say like,
but like programming and all these still need the human touch to be like doing programming. I mean, AI will not be able to program for you, like in terms of, I'm not talking about programming, booking of artists and lineups and stuff like that. It's still pretty much humans doing it. If you're talking about AI that's involved in our industry, I guess the copywriting part of it, which is helpful.
Yeah.
But I think people are just wanting to come out. I know, like after getting hooked up for COVID, and then it's just, when they start coming out, they feel it, and then it's just become a norm. And then it's just whether you have enough people in the country or in the city to make it even bigger.
Right.
But the thing is, we do. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yes. Recently, I had one of our friends, Josh, right, who introduced me to this thing called virtual rave. I don't know if you heard of it or not.
Yeah.
So it's like a group of friends, right, inside like a Microsoft Teams or something, and they all just watch a rave and then they drink at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
A centralized type of party.
Yeah, centralized type of party lah. So I don't really foresee that replacing the actual.
Oh yeah, and I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a new thing, and yeah, you're gonna have like a few people going in, but you're not. It's not going to be maybe 20 years from now.
Yeah, as of now, not a fully immersive experience yet. But I guess that's where maybe music festival might head to one day.
Yeah.
You all will do like real life.
Yes, for sure.
Live.
We already have done that for China Club. Yeah, we have. Yeah, but it's just something for like the investors to know, and it's just it's a whole
like cool thing. But what would be the pricing model like? Like 10% of the actual real life thing, something like that.
Something, maybe a donation. I mean, it's nothing to. There's no monetary. You can't really make money out of it. It's just a product you create as an entity in the whole bigger picture. Yeah.
Okay. So, were you involved in like the beginning of like the first festivals in Singapore? Like the first festival in Singapore is Zouk Out, right?
Actually, I created this festival before Zouk Out. So we did this one right before Zouk Out. It's called En Route. En Route, ENROUT. So basically, the concept was to use not a normal venue. So we used Fort Canning. We used the Mount Faber. It was called Altivo or something like that. The concept was actually like 3 stages, all local acts.
Oh,
that was the first festival type thing.
what's the sound?
It was one stage, if I remember correctly. So that was it was a house techno thing, and then there was this drum bass hip hop thing, and there was this live band thing. So like funk bands and all of that stuff. So like Bushman, reggae. So it was 3 different venues, and we packed it out. We had like 2,000 people that night.
And compared to you when you first started in Singapore and when you first started in China, it feels like the Singapore thing has less level of resistance, right? They should just, everybody come, the whole kampong come and support. I mean, it's like own friends as well. And
true.
Power word of mouth.
Yes. In China, it was more like we started doing more club nights first. It was all gathering, doing club nights, and then boom, the festivals. Yeah, but I mean, saying that, so that was the first festival we did, and then after that, Zouk got in touch with me to be involved in the first Zouk Out as a stage manager for the Techno Room, where Richie Ortin played. So that was when the first Zouk Out happened. I think it's in 2001 or 2, I can't remember.
The Mercedes sponsor one, right? That year, something like that.
I think that was a sponsor, but the first year.
Okay.
So I was involved in that, but we also organized a 2-day festival that was in 2001 we at Sentosa.
Yeah.
We brought like we brought like John Digweed, Koshin,
Yeah.
Koshin, like Koshin, drum bass, female, and then there was like Technasia, Stacy Pullen. There was like a collaboration between a few of the guys that just left Zouk and then us, and then we put together a New Year's Eve countdown with Sentosa. It was called the NYE Countdown 2021, I think. Yeah. So that was one of it, and then
Wow, that means you like essentially started the party.
yeah, that's right.
Oh my god.
Essentially started
What
that.
did you not create, man?
It was also the phone parties and all that shit. But yes, we did that, and then we went first.
Okay.
Then I did the en route again the following year at Fort Canning. It was like, it was just really weird venue. It was like cave and stuff like that. There was a second year. We had like DJ, we had like For Hero. We had like, it was all these like
Underground.
really underground stuff. Darren Price. Yeah, that was the second year. And then third year was at Fort Canning. So, I mean, I guess I started doing a lot of the, how do you say, how we create our own festival brand then, but it was not like how it's done now. We didn't like, make it like too brand orientated and then, had to commercial bookings. It was mainly very underground. That was that. And then, then I started doing the bigger stuff like Global Gathering in Malaysia. And also I franchised the two festivals. One was the Good Vibrations, where I had the Beastie Boys.
You do Good Vibrations as well.
Okay. Not the one in Malaysia. This is the one in Australia we franchised. So we had like we had like the Beastie Boys. Then Jurassic 5. Then the Cut Copy from Australia. It's like the whole. Cut Copies came out for my other festival. For the Worldwide Festival.
Wow.
I invested in various festivals that also made me lose a lot of money. Like all the money I made with the company as Kinematic in the agency, we pretty much invested a lot of it in the festivals.
Passion project, like chasing what you want.
Passion project, literally.
Deriving the satisfaction.
Yeah. Moving into China was like, for me, it was just like, okay, I had all the experience. I did a lot of mistakes and also like learned a lot. It was going there to not create so much mistakes, but at the same time do something big. So it was a good a switch of attention to another scene.
Looking at how you have grown Asia and how everybody else has been inspired to grow Asia also, right? Do you see like Asia being the next significant territory? Like what I mean by that, right? It's like, for example, you say vintage culture or you say John Summit or whatever. And then they always have that poster, North American tour, South American tour, everywhere.
It's really happening.
And now you have Inquisitive, Wukong that's doing an Asia tour. And not only might be as substantial,
It's already a substantial. We are already doing it. I mean, I have my other company called Basis. That's what we do. I firstly have an Asian roster of like some Asian producers, like from China, from Thailand, from Indonesia, which I'm going to launch it soon. You will know about it. It's basically an all Asian roster that we represent. So that basically is like, you give, I'm trying to give a platform to this, give them some representation so that they don't have to deal with their bookings and in certain part of So I'm doing that, and then of course this agency also does touring for like foreign artists that come out. So I'm organizing the Asian tour where we go to few Southeast Asian cities and China. So I'm doing like but the thing is like we don't focus on one sound. I mean, like I don't focus on one type of music genre.
Pushing the Asian artistry.
Asian and also a mix of foreigners as well, but a mix of both. But showing that Asia continent it is something that
Substantial pool of talent.
Yeah, you can have good 10 shows in Asia.
And Asia is like literally the biggest continent in the world. Right?
It is, yeah.
And it is also the most populous at the same time.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, I think I asked this question to shit, I forget who is it already. But then, right, I would like to pose the same question to you. Like, is that, okay, like, for example, you got John Summit or Vintage Culture, again, same example, right? They are commanding like 80,000, 50,000, the fees are in Europe or North America, South America, right? And then when they play the more progressive sound, it works. And then it justifies in a way of like the KPI. But then if they come over to Asia, right, and then they were to play the same thing, right, it may or may not work, So the ROI, the return of investment of the club will be not so certain, you see. So they will most likely not pay their 50,000 rate or whatever. So do you see any way in which they can kind of like spread their influence over here?
So the agency, they don't care.
And vice versa also? Yeah.
I guess it's really the club that books it to really understand, like, okay, what the artist is there going to be a change of direction or sound? The booker really needs to understand, not just book blindly to say, oh, because they used to play that kind of stuff, and then you expect them to play that kind of stuff, right? So really, it's like the agent and the buyer needs to have an understanding. Okay, Vintage Culture or whoever artist is now already, or in fact, when you book this artist, you need to know that actually he's really playing this sound.
Yes, correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the promoter's job to educate. It's not really the...
You see, so when you say this point, I want to come to another point already. Now, in local clubs, right, in order to like...
But of course, then again, the artist arrives, they should be tactful to have a balance.
But
of course, if you are really like... But then again, seriously, like, the artists don't play for you. Actually, like, especially like the producers, if they have a new song, they play the new song. Is whether you dig it or not, right?
Yeah, it's like the promoter's job and the venue's job to bring the people in, to bring the right people, the right crowd, and then for the entertainer to entertain and to like kind of create a sound. But then they don't treat local DJs like that though. It's like local DJs is like, hey, you want to DJ our place, you bring your own people, bring your own fans. But then
because it's local,
local, you see. So I guess like that's also a challenge, lah.
Yeah. Sorry, for you guys, like, you do your own, but it's really important to build your own community, right? Yeah. It's about really building your own community to have. But I think it's doing well compared to last time.
Oh yeah.
Compared to last time, when we first started, it was different.
People subscribe to the typical mainstream sound. Now people are a little bit more willing to step out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
That definitely does.
I see a lot more excitement. In this in this new generation of like supporting their friends to be the star. So that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and especially when you look at places venues like Ikigai, right, where they are supporting like so vast genre of music lah, and people are not even once confused about their identity.
Yeah, because they're following the promoters. Yeah, and then for those who don't follow, they just go, and if they like it that way,
they're surprised. Wow.
Yeah. That's why you see, like, for sure, like the hip hop guys don't go for the techno party, or techno party don't go for the hip hop stuff.
Are you involved in a little bit of like that punk rock?
When I was a teenager, not now at all.
Yeah.
It was like really like secondary school days, only for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It was just a gradual, from like Nirvana, you go into punk rock right after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fugazi, Mudhoney, all that shit. But it was only for that short period, and then skating, and then it moved into electronic music.
Because everything now is like, about the throwback, is like that, like when DJs make their track, like can be like Don Dola or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that, but
that's the thing.
I think every genre now, in fact, the whole Afrobeat genre is also going to the R&B, capturing some of the R&B classics, or even some of the disco stuff, that Purple Disco Machine, they're doing that, and then now it's like become a dinner set or something.
Dinner set.
It's happening, but I guess if that's the way to capture some people's attention, the mass market's attention on, oh shit, I know this song, but it's played this way, then
like introduction to dance music lah, before everything is distilled and purified,
or more like making them continue to like dance music. I don't know.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then what about trance? I feel like trance is really in its own sphere and it's like not affected by the test of time. It's still going strong,
I mean, trance is doing that. Disco is, I think every genre is actually going strong in their own way, maintaining like
Yeah.
a very gradual or progressive state for itself. Disco has been doing that, and disco is back. House is
yeah. The school is back,
and or maybe it's always been around. It's just that they're surfacing again. Yeah, with certain brands that's doing it like Glitterbox and stuff like that. So you need to have a few big things to happen to make people have attention to it. So like, yeah, I mean, trance has always been around. I mean, it's always been doing good or getting the number one respect from the fans, right?
Yeah, and even with trance, he's also pushing out a more like techno kind of sounding trance because
Which has been going on for a while, I think.
it's been like the current atmosphere, current state of music.
In fact, some of this techno stuff that's happening right now, there's also a bit of a trance element. So there's a lot of crossover that's going on right now between this few fall to the floor styles. Yeah,
I remember speaking to my ex-boss, Jeremy Boone.
and
It's like, the roots of like, I forget what he said, like roots and of trance come from techno or techno come from trance or something like that. And then eventually they like go their separate way, one goes going for it.
yeah, because of the different keyboards or synth that they use and arpeggiators that they use to produce the certain stereotype sound.
And I think a lot of people don't know this, right? But like the ultimate state of dance music, I would say, right, is like when you DJ and the progression is so good until like the front row people all cry and shit. They like feel,
Trance, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think like a lot of people seen it, Yeah, it's like
Seen it.
so into that. Yeah, that's like some high level.
I've seen that shit.
Oh my god.
No, I mean, like, even though I'm not a fan of it, but I did a few trance shows. Like, one of them was with Dash Berlin. I mean, like, I was touring him in China, and he did. I mean, I never liked trance, dude. I never liked trance, but when I did the tour, I had to deal with it, right? And some parts of it did get me. I'm like, wow. Andy Moore, I toured him as well. He was also like, he also touched me a little bit. Still, again, I'm not sold, but I know that
There's a market.
fans like it. He's happy. As my client is happy.
Enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's done.
I used to be a hip hop DJ, but then the thing is, after I went Bali once, right, and then I heard, oh shit, I forget what's this guy's name already. Yeah, but then his track is called Sanguine, and wow, it was like so hypnotic. And then I at that point of time, right, I can kind of understand why people like techno. Yeah, I'm like a super hip hop head. I'm like turntablism and everything,
Yeah.
But then at that point of time, that was like the turning point for me, where I like, oh, now I understand why people like techno, but I cannot explain to you why. Yeah, I guess it's something like that when you are more exposed to.
Yeah, you need to get more exposed to.
Kind of like unlock. Yeah.
It's a different state of mind and also state of understanding the structure of techno as well.
Yeah, and at that point I was like, I wasn't even on anything. I wasn't even drinking. I just arrived, and then the vibe of the place, and then the people,
Yep.
and then the DJ when he DJ, it's not like in a rush.
Yeah.
I just take my time, and when the time is right, it just happens without you even knowing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then from once you catch it, from then on you kind of have you just got it.
Yeah. Yeah, you really inspired the way on how I push my music and produce my music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So other than upcoming Storm dinner, meet and greet, Storm festival, Storm conference, I guess that is like the main.
That's one of the main big things that I'm working on, that I'm involved in. Some of the exciting tours that I'm doing that's coming up is I'm doing one tour with Roska. I don't know if you know of Roska, Roska, the UK funky legend from the UK. He's coming out for a China Asian tour. I have Nikita Zabelin, heard of him? He was the one who taught Nina Kravis how to DJ.
Oh.
He's a techno producer, but industrial a little bit. So I mean, I'm promoting quite a few different things. I also have who else?
But it's all different countries, right?
All from different countries, different genres. I mean, yeah. I mean, my thing is really I push out different stuff. There is also a few other stuff that I would not mention yet at the moment because it's still in the pipeline.
It's around the techno sphere, and is it?
Around bass, techno, house, and disco. Yeah, this few. Around this few, yeah. And then also, I may be dabbling into some of this harder techno stuff like BTSS, which could be next year. Let's see.
Alignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe some of the Afterlife DJs as well. But all for tours, just for touring, yeah.
What about Web3? Are you like integrating any of that into your festivals?
Yes, we are. We do. We have a company that's dealing with that. And we are also creating a few NFT stuff that we want now.
Right. I think
And
that's something.
that's collaborating with some of the artists that we are booking.
Oh, they're like artists customized.
Yeah.
Web3, maybe NFT or something like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess like something that Easter Ship did was like quite creative, which is like their dump drop, so that they get like membership for life.
Yes,
Yeah,
because they have another company that does all that stuff, like which is owned by them as well.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, very exciting to hear all the upcoming projects.
Yep.
So maybe to close this off, do you have anything that you wanna plug that is like maybe a personal project of yours?
Personal. Just pretty much. I want to launch some gigs soon. I did one with Sasha. That was just a collaboration, but there'll be a few things that's happening in the pipeline. So look out for the bassist parties.
Are you gonna play?
Yes, I will be playing.
Yes. Are you your DJ name or just Don?
Just Don, DONN. Yeah, DONN. Yeah.
Mm.
Don is my DJ name actually, but Donovan is my real name. So actually, but everyone calls me Don. Yeah.
Donovan.
Why don't I? Oh, I still put.
Simpler.
Yes, it's shorter. Yeah, it's Don. And then before I used to have quite a few different monikers because I played different stuff. But then now I'm just like everything into one for now. I may change something for my techno thing because I have a new techno set coming up as well that I'm working on. Something a bit fresh because I've got inspired by some of the young kids to put together something that is old and new. Yeah. So something a bit exciting. So that, and then what else?
Maybe venturing into the kind of live music, Fred again to.
No, I used to do that stuff, and then with the MPC and shit. No, it's great that it's coming back, and it's always been around. Actually, I will not go back to that at the moment, but just more craft my DJ sound again.
Yes.
In terms of the house and disco thing, and then my techno thing as well on the side. So because there's really two different type of sets as well.
Yeah, and some of you like hosting all these stuff.
Yeah, so I lately just been collecting some new music and receiving some from peers. Yeah. So some sets coming up, some parties.
I'm always excited about those techno party, right? Where you go down there, you cannot Shazam anything.
Yeah.
Then you Shazam like, hey, what's that?
Yeah.
Like nothing new. Everything is ID.
Yeah. I'm actually bringing my next tour is with LAG, LAG. I don't know if you heard of also from Slovenia. Yeah. So So
okay, great, cool. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.